Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had your tias smash that subscribe button, go ahead and smash that right now. If you haven't picked up a copy of my book, Operation Yard Recall, it's available on Amazon for the upcoming book signing event. Now, this episode right here is about PCing up, part 2. Part 2 to my video yesterday. I get a lot of people asking me this question. I think I'm starting to figure out why. The question I'm getting asked is, does everybody that requests protective custody, right, sensitive needs, do they have to debrief? What type of information are they giving up? Are they telling on me? Who knows, right? Well, I know, okay? It varies. It varies, all right? An inmate can request protective custody for numerous reasons, right? The majority, let's say 90 to 95% of my interactions at Donovan State Prison was because they were scared. Not scared in a good way. Not scared like, oh, I'm going to get legitimately, stabbed. More like, I rang up a drug debt. I burned so-and-so. Just scandalous stuff. Just grimy stuff. Like, nothing, nothing like righteous, so to say. Right? So, like, an individual goes with the mindset, I'm going to touch down on Charlie Yard, RJD, Level 4 SNY, EOP. I'm going to do as much spice, fentanyl, whatever, Clorox wipes, whatever I could get my hands on. And then I'm going to bounce. Then I'm going to walk up to the sergeant's office and say, I can't be here anymore. Right? That's kind of what it looks like. So they come up. Quite frankly, it's annoying. It's annoying, right? You guys want to know about green side, green mentality, right? Or at least my perspective. I can only speak on my perspective and kind of what I've gathered from the masses, right? We weren't thrilled. We weren't excited. We weren't jumping for joy. Oh, we got another one, right? We got another one. No, it was complete opposite. Like, man, if you don't get out there right now and handle your business, right? But yeah, we weren't going to physically pick them up and throw them back out there. There's procedures, there's policy, right? We carry ourselves like professionals, right? Not everybody, right? I hear what you guys are saying, but there's protocol. We actually have to inquire. We actually have to do an inquiry. Now, are they giving up? No, those dudes are not giving up anything. Because think about what type of individual goes onto one of those yards and incurs a debt. They're I don't mean to be disrespectful, but those individuals are clearly not about it, right? If they're conducting themselves in that manner, I'm sure that if they so happen to come from a general population, from a legitimate organization, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, within the prison, I'm sure even if they fell under the umbrella, dudes weren't really hollering at that guy much, weren't giving him anything, because you could kind of spot those types of individuals a mile away, right? And I give examples on our side of dudes that you shouldn't be, people you shouldn't be giving certain information to, right? It's just not going to end well. It's not going to end well for anybody. So what a regular debriefing looks like, look at Rene Boxers Enriquez's book, right? He pretty much debriefed in that book. That's what a debrief looks like. Now, can I assume that the guy withheld certain information? It's pretty safe to say dude withheld for certain information as far as like, if people are going to look out kind of for their self-best interest, right? Or the interest of others, like they'll tell to a certain point, right? Because they know the consequences, and that he knows the consequences, right? But that's just an example. Telling is telling. Telling is not good no matter which way you cut it, slice it, dice it, or chop it up, right? I mean, look at the cartel across the border, right? I'm talking about this world, the prison genre, the prison environment, the prison world, the violence, right? People do not take snitching lightly. Look at the homie Tekashi. That dude fell off the map. That homie was in court pointing fingers. I mean, the Bloods were like, man, and you believe this guy? Well, yes, it happens more frequently than you think. That's why the sensitive needs yard population is bigger than the general population in the California prison system. Because it became too easy to just... Dudes are not even... From the county jail bus, dudes are not even hitting main lines anymore. They're not hitting GPs. They're going straight protective custody, SNY. So, no... Little Toker is not telling about the time that you guys robbed a bank and nobody found out about it, or you guys, robbed the Connect, or nah, man, it doesn't look like that. It looks more like the dude's scared and they're gonna just make up. A lot of times they just make up stuff, right? Because we have to corroborate it. We have to conduct interviews. We have to look up files. We have to see, man, look at this guy. This guy has a history of doing this. Running from his own shadow. This guy... The department is small. The department is small, right? Whether you're green side or blue side, we've established this already. You don't get to go to a new prison and be like, new prison, new me. Let me switch it up over here. It doesn't work that way. At all. At all. Now, there's times where, and I'm interested to see if East Coast prisons, or maybe even the feds, operate in this manner. As you guys are starting to gather from Pelican Bay down to Donovan or Ironwood State Prison, from the Northern California to Southern, the department is small. Your name follows you. Your behavior, your past. Oh my God, your past. Maybe that's why it's so treacherous. Ain't nobody getting freebies. Ain't nobody getting away. You can't escape that monster. The crazy thing is that I've gathered is that the sensitive needs yards in prisons, I want to say Salinas Valley, for sure High Desert. I've heard High Desert. That those SNYs are rocking and rolling. Okay? The SNY at Donovan was not rocking and rolling, man. It was more like being on Skid Row, right? It was, and I'm not making a joke of that. It was like, man, we are not in Kansas anymore, man. You guys know what I'm saying. But nah, man, they're not spilling the beans, so to say, man. These guys know better than to. Some tell so much, I'll be like, stop. Plugging my ears, that's enough. Now, I'm going to close it out with a funny one, man. You guys like the yesterdays. I'm going to close it out with a funny one, right? So, I touched down at Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in late 2014, early 2015. So, that's why I say that. I hit January 1st, 2015. January 1st. So, nobody know... When you're brand spanking new, before any background checks or thumbs up or thumbs down go out, you get a little grace period, right? So nobody knew me at that time, right? There was I was a sergeant, this other homie was a sergeant. We were both cool, right? Cool with each other, right? Cat was young, like me, and good dude, right? My homie to today. So, I was working the triage treatment area, the clinic portion of the prison, right, where they need medical attention, they go to the TTA. I was a sergeant there. That TTA was off the hook at that time. We had holding cells outside. I swear to God, man, it looked something out of like, it was bizarre. I had never even seen holding cells outside. It was just weird, right? So you had inmates that were high on spice. They were just high on bath salts at that time. It was just nuts, man. Yelling, screaming at the top of their lungs during shift change. It was just not prison. It was not prison, right? My homies over here on Charlie Yard, that horrible yard I tell you guys about all the time. It's third watch, right? Evening from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's our third watch shift. So these inmates coming back from the hospital, they have to get checked out at TTA. Going out to the hospital, they have to get checked out at TTA. Like, that's the procedure, right? That's like the hub, kind of. That's where the ambulances pull up. So it's busy. It is so busy, right? You got inmates in the back of CTC, like the infirmary, like psych inmates, right? They're like putting poop on the windows, on the cells, boarding up, just all like cutting themselves with razors. It was just a madhouse, right? Not your boy's cup of tea at all. And kind of limited staff. I was a sergeant. I had 2 officers right there in the front. One of those officers is designated to drive the little ambulance to the yards and pick up the inmates and bring them back. So that's kind of one's out of the picture because they're constantly, all the inmates are going man down at RJD, right? So an inmate comes back from the hospital, right? And my staff are all busy, so I had no problem doing the escorts and escort this dude back to the pad, right? Back to Charlie Yard. It was already like 2100 hours, 9 p.m., right? Count, it was like at 9:15 p.m. The yard was already recalled. All I had to do was get the homie from point A to point B, right? I go to unlock the holding cell in the TTA. He's like, hey Sarge, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, nah, let's go, man. I kind of already knew where this was going, right? So we're walking. He's like, hey, Sarge, I really got to tell you something. I'm like, I don't want to hear it, man. No, let's go back to the yard. We're walking, right? Because I already told you, that's already an SNY yard. So we're almost halfway through across, and he goes, I got safety concerns. I can't go back to the yard. I said, God damn it. Didn't I tell you not to tell me anything? So he kind of looks like me. I said, look, man, we're still walking. I don't know, this homie thought that I was going to stop for him. And oh my God, you have safety. I'm telling you, it was constant. I said, didn't I tell you not to tell me anything? Yeah, I just can't go back to the yard. I said, look, man, look. My homie works over there. All right, Sergeant so-and-so. He's a good guy, man. Absolutely good guy. He loves inmates. He absolutely loves them. You get over there, you tell that sergeant what you just told me. You don't mention that you just told me that. He's going to take care of you, man. The yard's already recalled. Ain't nobody tripping. It's nighttime. Just go over there, knock on the window. The homie's going to look out for you. He looks at me like, all right, man. So go to the gate, pop the gate. The homie goes into Charlie Yard, right? It's freaking like count time already, like 9:10. I go back to my desk. No sooner do I go back to my desk at TTA, the phone rings. I'm telling you, this dude didn't know me. I just touched down at RJD. We knew of each other, but the homie didn't know me. He goes, hey, did you just escort an inmate over here? I'm like, yeah, dude, what's up? Why? Did he tell you anything? No. No, why? What's up? He didn't tell you anything. No, bro. What's up? The dude has safety. I said, the dude suicidal or what? This inmate's over here telling me he told you he had safety concerns. I'm like, no, he didn't tell me that. Well, that's what he's saying. I said, oh, so you believe inmates now, huh? He hung up the phone. The homie hung up the phone. He couldn't say nothing, right? It was my word versus his. The homie couldn't say nothing, right? So fast forward. That always stayed in our mind, right? Because I'll go back, but like, I got this dude. I got this dude. I okie doked him, right? So we're at the Sergeant Academy, right? It was like a Super Bowl Sunday, like back, like 2015, 2016, right? We go to the Sergeant's Academy in Sacramento. You go around the room, the instructor's like, hey, say your name, what prison you came from, and the worst day of your life, as a supervisor. Go around the room, right? That homie, we had already became friends. But I never told that dude what I did, right? He's sitting in front of me, so it gets to him first. I'm kind of like dozing off, like not even paying attention, like whatever. The homie starts telling his story. He's like, man, one day I was on Charlie Yard. The day was horrible. He's like, I had 6 incidents in one day. This dude goes on to say that because he did. That yard is wild. This dude's like, man, there was a staff assault at like 2 p.m. when I first got on shift, right? Quell that. Then 2 inmates started stabbing another one, right? 2-on-1 with a weapon. This is like happening back to back. Charlie Yard is wild. The admin won't slam that program at all. It just keeps going. It's a nightmare. Then I had a one-on-one fight, right, with SBI. Like, this dude is hitting incidents. All these are like reportable incidents. You got a weapon, you got a staff assault, you got an SBI on a fight. Another dude had a possession of a weapon in the cell. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. It was just constant incidents back to back. The homie goes off to name like 5. He goes, and to top it off, at the end of the night, somebody's knocking on my window. It was an inmate. I'm like, where the fuck did this guy come from? Oh man, I'm sitting in the back of the room like, oh damn, that was that night. So like during our break, I'm like, hey bro, come here. Like, hey dude, like, hey, he really did tell me something, bro. He's like, I fucking knew it, bro. God damn. Oh shit. With that message, let's try to make the best out of every environment. Keep pushing forward.